there's a possibility of some defensive depth there. Yeah. We got to find some right combinations. A little bit, some of that. But again, we're trying to play and wanting to get down and play it. I think there were some really good stretches, some really, really dominant stretches of defense. But it was also, again, as any coach tells you after any game, there's some mistakes there, right? There's some mistakes that we want to try to clean up a little bit and get a little bit more dominant on and string stops together. But yeah, we got some guys that can play D.
The wing defense with Kawhi and OG been able to mix them and match them. Is it kind of great does that give you as a coach?
Well, it's obviously I think they're both really similar. With OG just being younger, right? They got some strength, they got some great anticipation. Again, they got some want to, they got some pride. So it's nice, right? It's nice because that's a tough position to defend in this league, right? And to be able to have a couple guys that can do it and one kind of on the rise is nice.
When they make as many threes as they made and such a high percentage, is that because they're shooting that well, or you're not defending well enough?
Well, let me just take a look here. They made 15 of them. I think Rose made a couple. Probably going to take our chances there. I think he came into the game like 17% from three, so we're probably trying to help on Towns and Butler on him. Gibson threw one in too, I think, and that's a similar scenario. And then they kind of just started shooting them all about every time down the floor when they got down. I mean, our game plan was to swarm Towns and Butler a little bit, and I think we did a really good job of that. And they did make some kickouts, and those guys stepped in and made some. So they're number one team in the scoring in the paint, right? So we were really trying to send multiple bodies to the paint. And if I look down here, we outscored them 58-38 in the paint. So that was pretty good execution by our guys to take it at them and to keep them out of the paint.
Jonas and Serge splitting time. Neither of them are playing a ton of minutes, but they seem to both be making the most of their minutes. What have you seen from them that have sort of allowed them to be as efficient as they've been to start the season?
Well, they both played very well tonight, right? I'm trying to add up the numbers here, but 31 points between them at the center, right? And 16 rebounds. It's pretty good productivity there out of that spot. I don't know. I guess that's 5 good games for Serge from my standpoint, and he probably deserved to come back in a little earlier. But I thought Jonas was rolling on one, and we've talked about that too. He was having a heck of a run out there and being big and making shots and doing all kinds of stuff. So he got a little bit probably more of extended run, even though the matchup probably favored Serge with Towns.
I know you've been in this year about getting some more threes up or looking for more opportunities to get the threes up. Are you happy to see couple of them?
Yeah. I mean, I think they got their choice, right? If they're going to try to send two to the ball when we turn the corner, we got guys hitting the paint, and they don't have much choice. If he's back out there and they want to send one of their bigs to rim protect, it's nice to be able to hurt them, from that. And our guys did a really good job. Only one I can remember, but they did a really good job of taking it deep and getting it back out to him. And that's not easy too, because they're a good kind of deflection team on that kind of stuff. You saw they got one late where it would have been his third, probably 3 in a row, but they got their hands up and tipped it away and got a turnover off it. But pretty good job of finding him.
Coach, before the game, you were talking about Norm's play. What did you see in the game today? He was doing pretty well.
Well, he had a really good stretch, and I would say that he did an excellent job considering it gave him such a short stint in his first run. I don't know what it was. It couldn't have been more than 4 minutes. It might have been 2 minutes. Something happened in the rotation, and they made a big run back, and that group was playing, and he just had checked in. So he had a real short stint, which usually doesn't bode too well for a player mentally or whatever. But I've kind of told him that he's got to be ready for, I may stick him in at the end of a quarter for a play, and he hasn't played for 11 minutes and 45 seconds, and he's got to be ready for that stuff. So I'm pretty proud of him, really, for the way he responded in the second half. He was part of a nice run there.
Kawhi seems to be going from strength to strength. What are you seeing in his game each out?
Well, I think the ball's going in, right? I thought opening night he was 9 for 22, and I said, geez, he could have been about 18 for 22 that night, right? Just where he's getting to spots and getting clearance, and there's only a couple of those that are really tough. Right, like they stay up in him and really challenge, and he probably makes 2 out of 3 of those too, right? So So he was getting such good clearance in the opening games. I figured it would just be a matter of time before he had a 15 for 23, right, instead of a 9 for 22.
DeJuan just tightened up.
Yep. Just didn't feel quite right, and exactly right. He said he just felt tight, so we had to go. And LB, incredible job, right? He came in and early. I overran Danny in the first half a little bit, so brought LB in to get Kyle off the ball and let him get a different look at the game. And I thought LB did a heck of a job. Played 12 straight minutes there, pretty good.